Mhm. Ready or not? We're good. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Okay. Waukesha County, 0.5% positivity today. We were a little lower the first part of the week. We're back up again. 54.7% vaccinated with one or more doses. Wisconsin is a positivity of 0.9%, and 53.1% have at least one dose. We're not moving ahead in record time here. It concerns me a little bit with the Delta variant coming in. We need to get more folks vaccinated so we can be safer. I was just talking to Emily, our administrator, before this, and oh, here comes Michelle. Michelle is our DON, and I know that we have some conversations to have because we just unearthed new guidance from DHS today that is going to, unfortunately, I think perhaps set us back a little bit. But I'm not ready to talk about it just yet. The guidance is a little stricter than we've been doing, and I think we're going to have to pull back a little bit on some of this because we want to maintain safety. And I'm going to blame some of this on the Delta variant that is coming through. And we do need to be very vigilant about this because we know we have a good percentage of our staff that is unvaccinated, and we have to keep them safe. And we have to move, to do that. And we'll talk about exactly what we have to do to keep the safety of everyone in mind here. But I know that in the next day or so, we're going to get some new guidance coming out. Staff, you'll get it via your email and posting in the households, I'm certain. And I'm guessing we're going to have to reach out to family members to let them know a little bit more about the new guidance that we are going to go under. As much as Waukesha County's opening up, and AmFam Field is going to be at 100%, and all these things are opening up. It's happening a little too rapidly for healthcare. We need to dial it back a little bit and make sure that we are erring on the side of being as safe as possible. So more news on that to come. I can't tell you because I don't know. I read Emily's email as I was coming over here. I did not read the attachments that she sent to me from DHS, so we really will need to do a little talking on this. Let's see, what else have I got here today? Unfortunately, we had to cancel a boat trip today. Actually, I think we canceled both of them, 3 of them today. And it's hard to make that call. This morning I was downstairs at 11 o'clock and they said, well, what about the 1 o'clock boat trip? Well, 11 o'clock was okay. I'm glad we canceled it though, because 1 o'clock it was not okay. We've got rain coming down. So we will try to catch up on these and see what we can do. We have volunteers that are willing to come in and make these things happen. So I'm sorry for the folks who couldn't get out there today, but we've got a few more weeks of summer before it ends on August 1st. I don't know when it ends. I just know that we're waiting for really nice summer weather, which we had in spring. Mark, anything going on campus that people need to know about? Okay, that's a good thing. When there's no facilities problems, we all sleep better. That's good. Emily, anything from assisted living or skilled care on this side, outside of the mask mandates that we're looking at and that kind of thing? That's enough, Emily said. Okay. Okay. Michelle, from a nursing standpoint? Nothing. Okay, that's good. Denise?
Just a reminder that we're bringing Monday night bingo hosted by volunteers in July.
Monday,
starting on
yep.
the second
Okay, Monday Night Bingo's coming back in July. More to come on that, starting the second Monday of July. First Monday, I'm guessing most people are still thinking it's 4th of July. Okay, all right, very good. Brian, you're hiding back there. Anything that you've got operationally for the good of the nation here? Nothing. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a quick on and off kind of thing. I don't have a lot of stuff to talk about. Amanda does. Oh, what happened yesterday on the south side of the campus? Yes, I got a phone call, and Amanda says, "Boy, it says fire pumps running and the strobe lights are going off on the south side of the campus, and they're supposed to do that when the fire pump is running, but the fire pump wasn't supposed to be running yesterday. I believe it's the jockey pump, Mark, correct? In on this side of the campus, we have a 5-story building and a 3-story building, and we have some what's called a dry system for our fire suppression system. And there's a jockey pump that runs to keep pressures up and keep everything.
Pressure to the big fire.
Yep, to keep pressure to the fire pump. So when the system reads it, everything's going well. Well, something is wrong in the jockey pump, whether it's the pump itself or the motor. I'm not certain we've diagnosed that yet. But when that did not work, the fire pump said, "Hey, there's something wrong. I need to kick in. I need to run." And when that happened, all the strobes go off. So it's kind of like it would have been fine if that were happening during happy hour, because it would be kind of like a disco ball around the building. But it is upsetting when you're trying to do chapel or you're trying to do other things, and the entire south side of the campus was flashing. Once we determined that there wasn't a sprinkler running or anything like that, they silenced it. It went back. They are working on it. The fire suppression system is working. Everything is fine. We will be replacing that jockey pump or motor, whatever is important part of that Monday. Monday they will be here to do that. Okay, Amanda, phone call.
Yes, can you remind or just tell Lake Terrace tenants that if there is bad weather on Sunday, the concert that is scheduled for the pavilion will get cut?
Lake Terrace, there is a concert scheduled for Sunday. Unfortunately, the weather doesn't look 100% for the weekend. If it is bad weather on Sunday, the band will be in the clubhouse. So it's happening, rain or shine, just location to be determined. So if bad weather is predicted for Sunday afternoon, it will be in the clubhouse. Okay? Anything else? Okay. Again, oh, a question.
Well, frequency of town hall meetings, do we have any idea if we're gonna be cutting down to 2 times a month or?
Frequency of town hall meetings, depending on who you ask. I had a good number of people come to me and say, I really want these to continue on the way they are now. And then I have people saying, well, if you'll do in-person meetings, we won't have to do the town hall on channel 900. And we're not entirely certain how in-person meetings are going to go. I guess honestly, talking about the new information about masks and things like that will have some impact on how many in-person things we can do rolling forward. So once we digest all of the information that has just come out from DHS, I think we can better speak to that. Again, I did not read that information yet. I saw the email as I was coming over here, and I know Emily told me to look on page 5 and then again on page 10. So I know it's several pages long, and it's gonna take a little while to read this guidance from DHS. So give me a little bit of time, and we'll take a look at that. In the meantime, Last week I shared with you some information on the Dupee estate and Lutherland. Today I don't want to share that information. I want to share. I'm one slide off on this. This is the one I want to start with. This is our founders. And if you take a look at this, and I'm hoping you can see, Brian, could you just turn the lights off behind you there, both those switches? That will help a little bit. If you come over to our Life Enrichment building, you get off the elevator, you look immediately to your right, and you'll see the picture of our founders, Reverend T.K. Herbener, Judge Alvin Brendamule, and Reverend Herman McKelkey. Back in 1938, these three got together, and as we talked about last week, Lutherland went broke. And they said, we've got to do something for Oconomowoc. We have to do something that is going to provide for the seniors in the Oconomowoc area. So the Rosencrantz Mansion was for sale, and they were asking $6,000 for it and about an acre and a half, or just about 2 acres of land. And so the three of these got together with their churches, and they scraped together a down payment. And in January of 1939, Lutheran Home for Aged was born from the Rosencrantz Mansion. Omar Rosencrantz built the mansion in the early 1870s. And it's interesting, as you do research about Mr. Rosencrantz, he was a jeweler. He was a jeweler in Milwaukee. But if you really take a look, he was a deserter from the Army. And he served some prison time in his younger days and became a respectable businessman later in life. When he no longer lived in the mansion, it first became a hospital in the Oconomowoc area and then a nightclub. And it closed down, and that is when our three founders, McKelkey, Herbener, and Brendamule, purchased it. Now, the interesting thing is, we served all three families of our founders. And as recently as perhaps 5 years ago, Reverend Herbener's daughter and son-in-law lived with us and lived at Lake Terrace as well as in Shorehaven Health Center. Judge Brendamule's sister was with us on the campus, and Reverend McKelkey's widow was with us for many years. She lived at Lake Terrace for a long time and lived with us in the health center near the end of her life. So we've been privileged to serve the families, all three of our founders. And I think they would much appreciate that, because that was their vision, to take care of those who were aging in the Oconomowoc area. When you looked inside the Rosencrantz Mansion, we were home to anywhere from 24 to 36, 38 people in that mansion. And you ask, how can we get that many people in this mansion? If you look at the top picture here, there's three ladies there, there's a bed there, and one across the foot end of the bed. 3 people shared this room. And that's a little bit cozy. The gentleman on the lower picture, I have a better picture here, they had it much better than the women. They had 4 beds to the room, and you could actually walk behind the beds here. But all of the rooms were well used in the mansion. They got every single bed they could in there. And this is the reason that we had to get rid of the mansion. We could have had it today, but the bottom picture here, and I do apologize for those of you watching it on Channel 900, but the bottom picture is the dining room. And the dining room was in the basement, as was the kitchen. And everybody had to come down there to eat. Well, not everybody could. On the right side of the picture, you see the stairways, and they were relatively steep. I don't think there was a building code for the angle or the height of the risers on stairs in those days. They were pretty steep, and the two folks that are going up the stairs are using their canes to get up and down the stairs. The picture on the left shows three gentlemen who were able to go the stairs at that time, and they were carrying trays. There were people who couldn't get to the dining room in the Rosencrantz mansion. And these folks, these gentlemen delivered their trays up to them. The Rosencrantz residents, they had gardens. Now, I happen to know that the lady that is doing the cooking in this picture actually was an employee. They did have a couple employees, and there were farmers from the congregations who dropped off chickens and pigs and that kind of thing. Only you have to remember that they dropped these things off live. So then we had to find folks at this time that were going to butcher the chickens and the pigs and that kind of thing. And that's the way Lutheran Home for the Aged operated until into the 1950s. You see a garden down there in the lower right-hand corner. They raised their own food. They were pretty self-sufficient. This is a picture of the Rosencrantz mansion through the seasons, and I'm sorry I don't have one of the fall season. We weren't able to find one, but you know, the blossoms in the spring, the summer foliage, and then of course the beautiful winter. And we operated the Rosencrantz mansion from 1939 up until about 1959. 1960 is when the new Shorehaven nursing home got completed far enough to move the people out of the Rosencrantz mansion into the new modern Shorehaven. That's as far as we're going to go this time. And what we're going to pick up next time is I want to talk to the people who are accountants and that kind of thing next time, because we do have, if you would flip the lights back on, Brian, thank you. We do have an original ledger sheet from the first year of operation of Lutheran Home for the Aged. And I want to share that with you and kind of take a look at what 1939, 1940 prices were and what was important to them at that time, and then share a little bit about what we are doing here in Lutheran Homes of Oconomowoc in 2021. So, Amanda, we have no more phone calls. It is just about 20 minutes after. That gives you time. Do we have something after this today, Denise, or are we? You're okay. She didn't look at the calendar. I didn't look at the calendar. You're on your own. Sarah, is it still raining out? Thank the Lord. We want to, our prayers have been answered. I do have to tell you that for the last 2 weeks, I have been washing my car, and I've been doing it by hand. And usually when I wash my car by hand, the Lord sends rain within the next couple days to keep me humble. So I will continue to wash my car by hand until we have made up our 7.4 inches of rain that we are starving from. And I really, I know the grounds crew appreciates this. They don't have to have the sprinklers running and try to save some of the new lawns and the plantings that are out there. So thank you all for being with me this afternoon. I will see you next Thursday. Thank you.